I saw like the side of the face. The head was kind of like a little bit pointed, if that makes sense. And then there was the forehead and the nose. Oh God, it was kind of like pushed in somewhat. I know it seemed like it was wide. It reminded me of a gorilla. The hair was not super long. I would call it super hairy. I mean, it was covered in hair for sure. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey,
Pretty good.
We're pretty good. Yeah.
Well, Ray and Lisa, thanks for being here with us. We appreciate it.
No problem.
So we know that you guys, we were in touch talking a little bit on social media, and you guys moved into your place this past summer or something like that, you guys were saying?
3 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 years ago? Okay. And then this past summer, you started having some weird things going on
Yes.
around your homestead there. Can you give us what state are you guys in? Can you give us a general? Okay, gotcha. All right, cool.
North Central Arkansas.
Okay.
We can give you the town. It doesn't matter.
Oh, sure, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Prim, Arkansas.
Prim, Arkansas. Okay. We like to document stuff on maps and stuff like that. So, and try to see, if there's relativity going on. So, okay. Well, again, thanks for being here with us, guys. Why don't you just start from when you guys started noticing stuff happening and what was going on, and just take us up to present day and all that stuff. So,
okay. Well, it started this summer of 2024. Very beginning of summer. Ray and I, we like to sit on the back porch a lot. We've got land and a lot of dogs, so we spend a lot of time out there, and we're sitting on the porch, and this real pungent smell came. It smelled like musk and dirty dog and skunk and dead carcass.
Just stanky.
Really, really stanky. And then all of a sudden there was this god-awful scream. I mean, like we've never heard in our life. And we both look at each other thinking, well, we both can't be crazy. We both heard it. It wasn't a bear because it wasn't loud enough. It wasn't any animal that we know. And we're pretty good with animal sounds. My parents were hunters and everything. And we both looked at each other and said, okay, we're just going to shrug this off. It is what it is, And a few minutes went by and the smell got stronger and it got closer. And then all of a sudden, another scream went off, and the scream was really close. It's in our field, which is how far from our house about?
We live on like 3 acres, and we have about an acre that's fenced in for our backyard for our dogs. And then we got about another 1.5 acres that is basically we've given back to, the wildlife, let them roam around, do whatever. So it was out in what we call our South 40.
So the second screech went off, and it's like, okay, this isn't normal. What is this? It's a bit much. And we like, okay, we're going to sit here. It's going to go away. We're going to be fine. And the smell got so close that it made my eyes water almost. It was that strong. And a scream went off so close. I swear it was on the side of the house. It was so, so close. And that was it. That time we went inside. I was like, we're done. And then things were quiet till pretty much the end of summer. And then what happened at your workshop?
I don't know.
Oh, he doesn't remember. On the middle of January, he went to his workshop to work on some stuff. And when he was in there were tree knocks that went off. And then a scream. And I was like, okay, here we go again. And that was in the afternoon. And then that night, the dogs were in the theater room. And Ray had left the theater room to go to do something. And we didn't have any movie in yet. So it was quiet in the room. And 3 god-awful screams. You could hear them coming from the field again. I mean, they're just blood-curdling and loud and hard to I call it Godzilla. That's the best way I can describe it, if that makes any sense, because it's just so extreme. And it's like, okay, here we go. And this put us very uneasy. I mean, what is this? What's going on? I mean, our imagination was, like, okay, wondering if it was something like a Bigfoot, because it wasn't normal. Things were quiet until about January. we had our first snow.
Yep.
And then
I was, we have a deer feeder out back in our South 40 that we feed the deer. So I was going out there. Normally I take my mower out, but you can't take it out there during the snow. So I was feeding the deer, and on my way, I don't know if it was there or back, like just on the other side of our fence were these giant prints. I mean, it wasn't deer, it wasn't anything like that. I mean, it was like really big, and it just, it looked like I don't want to say the classic Bigfoot print, but you could just tell it wasn't somebody in a boot or anything like that. Because nobody goes on our property. It's gated. We got signs, no trespassing, or you'll deal with me. But so I went back, I took photos of it. I measured it out. And it was just kind of one of those things at that point where it was like, okay, we just had our first snow. So it didn't melt and like expanded. It was there. You could tell that something had been there. I don't know. I had my brother look at it. He's an avid hunter. He had absolutely no idea what it was. So that was the first time where I'd actually gotten a print off of it.
I sent that print to 2 people in our neighborhood that are hunters and asked them, hey, you hunted all your life. Do you have any idea what these prints were? They both said no, they had no clue. And the one person had told me that while her husband was out in his yard or property, I guess hunting, he found prints as well. And him being a hunter, he knows prints. And he said the prints were too, the gate was too wide for a human man, and the footprints were too wide as well. So around the same time we had prints, they had prints. And then I think a week later, she sent me a picture of a neighbor far behind us that also had prints in his pasture. So we've got 3 different areas with 3 different people in the same area getting prints around the same time. So that was a little like, okay. So I sent the prints to a couple of experts. I sent it to 3 different experts because we wanted to know, hey, what is your opinion? Is this just some animal? The prints, are they messed up? What? And they each came back what they think is a juvenile Bigfoot. 3 independently, and they gave us the same thing. It's like, okay, so now we think we know what we're dealing with. So that was January. I remember the end of January. Well, again, on the back porch, we have a wooden fence on the right side of our property where our workshop is. You could hear heavy footprints. I mean, really super heavy footprints just walking in the leaves that are on the ground, and a weird kind of like whistle, which didn't make any sense. We don't have people around us. I mean, it's our house, and there's one house way in the back, and that's it. The rest of it is fields and just woods. That's all it is. I mean, you have to drive to our other neighbors. That's just, that's Arkansas. So that was creepy. And then that was the end of January. February, he found more prints when he went out to the field. He again took more pictures of those. Mm-hmm. And we had more screams.
We had an incident where we don't go out a lot, but we don't have a lot of neighbors. And we left one day, and when we came back, one of our garbage cans that was empty was flipped over on its top. Now, the garbage, if the wind did it, I would understand that, but it's a garbage can with like a domed top. So you literally would have to take it out, flip it over yourself, balance it, and then walk away. Now we checked we only have like a few neighbors that we even associate with, and none of them had anything to do with it. It wasn't a bear because there was no marks. There was nothing in the garbage can for the bear to like chow down on. It was just an empty garbage can. So it kind of got us a little concerned. At that point, we started, we decided we were going to start buying some lights for the perimeter. So we have lights on the perimeter of our fence now. We have a big giant, it's like a workshop light that is on our back porch. I've lit up my workshop area and back now, so that it's lit up from dark till dusk. We don't look. I don't want to hurt anything, but there's a boundary. as long as you stay out in that field, I'm cool. You come over that fence, you know, I'm not gonna let you hurt my dogs. So then Lisa, she had a sighting a couple days ago.
Well, in March, we had the bang on the house. That's why we reinforced the lights. But they got smart with the lights on the one side of the fence where the field was. They started breaking the branches right by where the lights were, right? Like here's the light, and right to the side of the light, they break the branches. And they started doing it all the way down because we have 4 motion lights there. And I think they did it to set up where they know they shouldn't go past. So they don't make the motion lights go off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion, and I truly believe that.
We've got a bunch of chimes out there too that we
Yeah.
put out there to kind of like, you know, I know noise is not their friend, whatever, I don't care. But a bunch of those have been like knocked down from the branches, and it's not wind. I mean, I know what wind does to whatever, and they're like busted out, and so, you know, that's just, I mean, I haven't seen any more. We had what was his name? Caleb Decker came out
Yeah.
about a couple weeks ago, and he I showed him where, you know, we saw things, and he went out, set up a trail, not a trail cam, but it'll pick up audio, and then he went along our back barbed wire fence line, found some hares. He's going to come back out and get those evaluated. But as we're coming back in, we have a lot of like overgrown brush area, and you could tell where something had been there. Not deer, because the deer stay over by our deer feeder and our deer corn. You could tell where those, I know where those guys are all the time. There's a trail going in and out. I know where they are. This was more back in the deep brush where Lisa had seen something before, and you could tell something. It's not a bear. I mean, it's a big area, and nobody goes back there. So that was something else that we found there. Tell them about your sighting.
Yeah, well, the Caleb he's from, what do you call it?
NAWAC
North American Wood Ape
Conservatory.
So, you know, he's doing the investigation. He'll come out pretty soon, and he'll supposedly get the hair sample. He didn't get it last time because he didn't have the equipment to get it. And I'm hoping the rain didn't make it, you know, go away. Hopefully not. But in March, I had my first sighting completely by accident. I remember I was in the living room. It was like 7:00 in the morning, and I was feeding our puppy, and it's boring feeding your puppy just sitting there waiting. So I look out our back glass door, and I see this black mass, and it's like, what is that? It didn't make sense because it was moving, and it was in the field, and it was like, what is this? So I got up to the window, and I looked out the glass window of the door, and I could see a head, and I could see part of a torso, and it wasn't a bear. Most definitely was not a bear, because it was standing
Too
up.
tall.
Yeah, it was, I'd say, over 7 feet tall. It was really tall. And I remember its arms were forward, and then all of a sudden it's like it took its step, and I couldn't see it anymore. It was just gone. Like with that one step, it was just completely gone. And I was a little freaked out for a while. And I think it was pretty quiet in March until towards the end. And Ray and I were again on the back porch with the dogs. And we heard in the field in that same area where we saw the first sighting, we heard this big huff and then a huge growl. And it's like, okay. It was almost like a sound of a mountain lion, but not exactly. I don't, is that deep, that gruff? And it's like, okay. And then that was most of April. And then just recently had my second sighting on April 2nd. I was on the back porch, and I was with the dogs, and I kept noticing something to the side that kept getting my eye, and it was to the left side of the field. So I got up to check it out, and I saw the whole thing. I saw the head, I saw the torso, I saw the arms, I saw the legs, and then it turned, and it started taking steps to the right, and I could see the swing of the arms and the wide spread of the gait. It would probably take me at least 3 steps to do one step that it did. It was just, I mean, mind blowing in my opinion. And I grabbed the dogs and we ran inside. I'm not gonna lie.
So I went out back, took my shotgun, went out back to my wood shop area because you can access that area through there. I got probably about 50 feet in, and you could just smell. We don't, our septic's not out there or anything. It was real. It was the same smell we smelled before. And I'm like, well, I don't think I want to go any further. Came back in, we sat out on the porch for a little while. The smell kicked in again. So I grabbed my shotgun. I walked out to the fence line, and the smell got strong. I mean, it was like right there, and I could hear growling, but I couldn't see anything. I mean, it honestly, maybe it's the grass. I mow it 10 feet back from our fence. After that, it's wild. So it's, 6-7 foot tall. Honestly, that thing, whatever was out there, couldn't have been more than 25 feet from where I was. I mean, I just wouldn't have heard it that close. And then I was like, okay, well, I don't want to provoke anything. So I'll just, hopefully Caleb will get that. I called out to his camera, so hopefully he can mark the time and the day, and hopefully they can
Pick
get
up the
something
sound
off
on the
of that.
recorder.
And that's pretty much where we're at right now. We think part of the problem is that we're in there's other people around here that have had encounters, and we're in like a corridor where it's really woody. It's a deeper holler. There's water supply. There's food because we allow the deer to come here. The first 2 summers that we were here, I mowed that entire area down. I bush hogged it because, it was my land. But after that, we decided to give it back. And that's when everything started to happen, because I'm assuming, well, it's a nice area to hang out. I'm assuming that's what happened. So that's kind of, hope that we talk too much, but it brings you up to speed.
I had made a mistake in January after the footprints. I was a little worried, because everyone around here hunts except for us. We don't hunt, which we have no problem with hunters. It's not our thing. And so in our local Facebook page, I had put, what our experience was going on. I said, take this however you want. This is what's been happening to us. Now, I'm just saying, if you're going out in the woods, don't go alone, or just, be aware. The feedback I got was rude, cruel, insulting, demeaning. But at the same time, I would get private messages from people in our town that were saying, I'm so glad someone spoke up. This happened to me then. This happened here. We had one gentleman show up at our door. Never met him in our life. I don't know how he found us, because I didn't give out our address or anything. I guess the gossip. Now, and he came over and he told us about his experiences and what was going on. I had another gentleman, which is in our town. He reached out and told me about the encounters they're having at a creek nearby, where the creatures are throwing rocks at people. And he says it's so scary, people won't stay there. They
won't stay overnight.
They won't stay overnight. They won't even go there to that area. And on his land, which isn't too far from us, it kind of connects one way or another. He has a nest. And he also hears the screaming and the howling. And he had 2 dogs go missing. So, they've shown some aggression there, but on our property, they haven't shown any aggression so far. I mean, we try to keep the peace.
That helps.
We're trying our best. I mean, we've had to redo everything. At night, we have to have our curtains closed, the blinds closed, the lights have to be on as soon as it's dark. You don't go out on the property without a gun. I mean, just in case. You just never know. I mean, it's really changed the way we have to live here.
Not that we're moving.
We'll never move.
No, we're not going to move. Like I said, if they want the back area, it's theirs to have. I have no problem with that. But like I said, I think we're just in a corridor, and that's fine. Now the gentleman that had 2 dogs go missing, it didn't help that they were shooting off rounds and putting out traps for him. So that obviously didn't help the situation. And he's volunteered to come out and set traps and give. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's just that. If you're going to egg a problem on, you want problems, and I don't want to be the first person in history to ever have to shoot a Bigfoot. That's ridiculous. So
we just want to live in peace.
Yeah, that's all.
We just want our dogs safe, our family safe.
Yeah, and as long as they stay on their side of the fence, everything will be fine. As long as you don't try and like set traps or try and provoke them in a way, you guys should be fine. I mean, it sounds like you're doing everything right.
We're trying to, they come up to the fence. That's where we found the footprints, and that was very overwhelming at first. But they did knock on the house the one time. That really, to me, was a big invasion.
But we couldn't find anything outside either. And it's muddy under our, it's not a sidewalk. It's not cement right against our house. So I couldn't find any like tracks or anything. I'm not a hunter, but I know the difference between a deer and rabbit.
And it was a loud, hard, it shook the room kind of thing. And so we installed spotlights on top of the motion lights. Because it's like, look, as long as they stay out of the air we have lit up, okay. And as long as you don't hurt my animals, we're good. And it's funny when the dogs, and we should have paid attention more because we didn't know, because there's times you feel like there's something out there and you feel like you're being watched, if that makes any sense. You just feel it. And the dogs will go and just stare out in the field and not make a noise. Dead silent. And then they'll come running on the porch demanding to come in because they're scared to death. Yeah.
Now we have a trail cam out there for the deer feeder because we like watching the deer. And when the deer are out there, the dogs go crazy. We know when the deer are out there. But when they're out there on the fence line just staring into nothing, which is pretty much the same place Lisa's seen them all the time before, then like I said, that one time I went out there and heard the growling, you got the hairs on the back of your neck, and that's there for a reason. If you ignore it, that's your intuition saying, hey, something's not right here. So that's kind of where we're at right now as far as everything that's going on.
I'm hoping not to see them again.
No.
I don't know if I want to be quite honest.
So I'm looking on the map here of where Prim is, and I can definitely understand why you guys have activity there. You've got a huge water system south of you guys, and it looks like some river systems running through your area, and you guys are just in some wooded, hilly area right there. Just in the middle of it, so to speak. So I can definitely understand that for sure. Do you think this was the same creature that was coming back and bothering you guys or bothering your neighbors? Or you think there's like a group of these things?
I think there's more than one, because that same day, the one took off to the left and down and then over to the right. And then within an hour, Ray was in the field and there was one growling. I don't think that could be the same one at the same, because one went in one direction and then one was left and one was right. So I believe there's more than one, maybe a group. Some of the experts I talked to, they believe it's a group. They're the ones that, told us the safety precautions, what we should and shouldn't do. And it has helped. It's nice, the validation that other people in our town and the town next door are having, sadly to say, the same issues. Sightings, rocks throwing, the screaming, the nest. There's a lot of stories. And it's nice that they don't want to come through to public, but they'll come through to us, and they're willing to share their stories with our investigator. So he's supposed to reach out to them too, because the two people have lived in these towns their entire life. So they know a lot of the history going back quite a ways.
More than we do.
So we were told, like the one who lives behind us, she's, I guess, lived there over 45 years. 45 years ago, she had some kind of incident with the screaming and stuff like that. So it's not something new. It's something that's just continuing, like I said, as long as they don't hurt us, and I don't want to see them again.
So have you noticed a difference in activity with the changing of the seasons? You know what I mean? Is it more active in the fall or the spring or the?
It was more active in the summer, and then after this last rainstorm we had,
It got active.
then that's when all the things happened. So maybe it pushed them around because there was a lot more water. I mean, we got we got 13 inches of rain and the winds. So the winter, not a lot other than the one sighting.
Yeah, October to December. And I think it's because we had tons of Christmas lights out. We didn't have any activity, but I mean, we lit up the whole area.
Yes. We had
So I think that might have deterred them at the time. But as soon as those lights were down, it started, and it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just continuing. I mean, you just never know. I mean, we could go a couple weeks and it's quiet. And then sometimes it's like day after day after day. We just never know.
Yeah.
You know, I keep a diary because I want to keep track of everything. And
Oh, sure.
I've got 3 or 4 pages of things. I mean, we're just covering some of it, but I mean, it's just the screaming. I mean, that's just something you can't forget. And then now seeing them, especially seeing the whole body and how wide his arms swang, or her, I don't know, you know, how big the arm swang and the gait of the step. And it didn't seem aggressive. It just seemed like it was doing its thing, but it was also very quick at the same time. It's not like it was minutes. It was seconds. It was just like boom, 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 gone. I mean, the area covered.
How tall would you say?
Over 7 foot. Yeah, they're tall. I mean, to see it through all the what do you call it? Brush.
Yeah.
And you have to be tall, because I remember when the investigator, my husband, went out to the field where I saw it. I was thinking it was maybe 6 foot tall, but when they're out in the field, I could barely see their heads over the brush.
Right.
So it's like, oh no, that was over 7 foot for sure. And it was next to the barn. He said, yeah, well, that barn's 12 foot. So yeah, it would be, 7 foot or more.
And that fence where the hair is, it's about I say it's a 3.5 foot barbed wire fence. So I mean, it's not like you can just step as a human or whatever, step over it. It wasn't deer. So you'd have to have a pretty big gate to step over that fence.
And the investigator said if it was a bear, because it's like a cattle fence there. Mm-hmm. So he said if it was a bear, the bear would have just balled right through it, just went right through it. And the hair was on the top area of the fence wire, not down below. So it's no way it's a dog, coyote, or anything like that. Dogs. That's impossible. And there's no cows in that pasture. And like you said, if it was a bear, they could have just gotten right through there, no problem.
Yeah.
And so that's where we are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lisa, how far away was the creature that you saw, do you think?
The first time, what would you say from
our porch to,
by that barn?
100 yards, maybe.
Okay.
The second time, I don't know, because
maybe a little bit more than that.
Okay.
At the most. I mean, it's far, but it's still close enough where you can, like the first time I could make out the hair. It was dark. I could make out the neck, the head, lack of neck, I think, and the torso. And the second time, honestly, it looked like a big gorilla, if that makes any sense, but it was standing upright, and it wasn't fat. It was, I'd say, not lean, like in the middle, muscular. It looked, I mean, for what I could tell, even from the distance, that it was a healthy creature.
The dad bod.
The dad bod, yeah, I know. I don't think it had a tummy. I don't think so.
So, Ray, have you ever thought about mowing that area down again to maybe keep these creatures away from your home?
I mow from our back fence. I mow about 10 to 15 feet in, just to because we used to live in California, for a fire break just in case.
And snakes.
But to mow it all down again, I don't want to, because the deer feed on our land and I'm cool with that. Plus, I'm not jacking up my mower. The first couple times I was out there, the people that lived here before, I don't know if I felt like they were setting traps for me. I would hit stuff and just, it would tear my mower up. And I flipped my mower once because I didn't see a creek that was there. And now with all the rain, I don't even know the landscape back there. Before I knew it and I had a map and I knew where I could go. No, I don't want to do that. Besides, like I said, if it stays out there, I'm okay with it. I got no problem with that. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna, unless I have to. I probably don't want to do that. Plus, we got some new leach lines for our septic, and I don't know where those go. And I don't want to be running over stuff from the leach lines before. So I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. So yeah, I'm probably not, unless it's an absolute necessity, would I do it at.
Yeah. Plus, it's the only area the animals can come, and they know that there's no hunting, and they know that they're safe.
So yeah,
because when we fill the deer feeder, you'll put a 50-pound bag in there.
Yeah,
it's gone in 2 days.
Yep.
So we got a lot of deer, and that's what we felt that we needed to give back to nature. Just didn't know we were going to give that much back to nature.
Well, did you say you had?
Sounds like the deer may not be the only ones eating that corn.
Yeah. Do you have a camera on that deer feeder? You said, or no?
Yeah, we've never seen them on the camera there. We were told by the experts they will avoid infrared cameras, and we only have one. We did move it once, and it was weird. It would go off,
but we didn't see anything.
But we couldn't see anything in the picture.
Yeah,
when we moved it,
we pointed it toward the area where the footprints were, and it would, because it's motion sensitive, it'll go off a certain amount, and it went off, but there's like nothing there. So, yeah, I mean, unless I want to invest in a non-infrared camera, which I probably don't really want to. No, nothing. I mean, it's just deer, and I even put it there and then turned it into the holler, but nothing there. No. So. It just hasn't picked up. If it would have picked up something, trust me, that would have freaked me out.
Yeah, but that was weird because it would go off and you couldn't see anything at all. But then why is it going off? Something motioned it to go off. Yeah. Nothing on the ground, nothing that we could see around it. It was just the area.
Yep.
So that was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's interesting for sure. Lisa, you mentioned that when you saw that creature, it took like 1, 2, 3 steps and it was just gone.
Yeah.
When you say it was just gone, do you mean it just disappeared into the tree line?
Yeah.
Or you just couldn't see it anymore?
I couldn't see it anymore because it went deeper into the tree line.
Okay.
It went from an area where it was pretty clear, and then it got deeper into the trees.
Okay. I was just wondering if it maybe just kind of vanished or something like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
That's okay.
It's just, even though it wasn't running, it was just what I could tell walking. The steps were just so big. He took up so much space so quickly. And it was like, by the time I got up from my seat, he had already gone straight and turned right. And it's like, well, I know I'm slow, but I'm not that slow. And then it was a couple more steps, and then he was in the tree line where I couldn't see him at all.
Yeah, that area is, they don't mow that down. I'm not even sure if that's anybody's land. They used to have an oil platform on there years ago, but that was taken down before we came here. There's a pond out there.
Yeah.
So that's a water supply, but nobody's even gone. I mean, not since we've been here has anybody even been in that land.
I think it's for sale.
Yeah, it's for sale, but nobody's bought it.
I mean, around us is just land. I mean, we got land to the left of us, land behind us. Across the street is all pasture. I mean, God, as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, that's cows.
And then a farm attached to it further down. And this way you can't see the house, but there's a house down the street. But it's not like you can see your neighbors. They're here, but they're not close.
Yeah, if you guys weren't so far away, like 11 hours, I think Brian ought to come down there and do a little camping around your area.
You are very welcome to anytime you want.
Maybe one day we will. If we had enough time in the weekend, we could do it, but it's a little bit of a drive.
Well,
Once we
you're welcome
become
to.
independently wealthy, we'll.
Yep. Once we get enough listeners, then we can do this solo, this whole podcast thing on our own. Then we can come down.
You guys can do that. I just will not be out there.
No, Ray, you seem like you're irritated by these creatures. Do they
No,
really bother you, or
no? Look, I used to be a Marine. I'm a former cop. It doesn't bug me. It's one of those things where it's, I used to be a detective, so I try to, I look at the situation and say, okay, can it be this? Can it be this? Can it be this? Can it be this? And I've gone through everything. And at the end of the day, well, can it be this? Well, it could be Bigfoot just as much as it could be this. So no, I'm not bugged by it. I grew up believing in Bigfoot my entire life. I watched Boggy Creek when I was a kid. And like it says in the movie, it scared me then and it scares me now. That sound in that movie, yeah, that's that little kid running through the field on the fence. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like now. So, and I know that's in southern Arkansas down by Fouke. So I've always had a fascination for Bigfoot. I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you, if I want to see it. I mean, do I want to be blissfully ignorant, or do I want to see it and go, oh crap, now I can't sleep at night because I have a bad imagination that will just run wild with it. So no, it doesn't irritate me. It bothers me that sometimes it bothers my wife, but no, it's not a big deal. Like I said, as long as you don't cross that boundary, I'm good to go. And then once you do, we'll deal with it accordingly.
It took time to adjust to it. I mean, It was super scary really super scary in the beginning. And now we're just, I guess, accepting as best we can and just trying to coexist as best as we can, because it's a fact, this is nature and they have a right just as much as we have a right to be here.
Sure.
We got rules, and as long as we follow them, we should be okay.
And like I said, it sounds like you guys are doing everything right. So
Hopefully.
There's no reason why you can't peacefully, live together.
Yeah. I got no problem with that. I don't want to see it hurt or captured or anything like that. I mean, right. That at some point I'm sure one will be. I don't want to have to. We had one investigator came out here, and the only thing that turned me off about him is he's like, well, yeah, I'll shoot one if I can. I'm like, yeah, but if you're a Bigfoot investigator, why would you do that? I mean, because he talked about
proof.
Yeah, he was talking about one time they had a sighting and they followed it through and they were trying to, shoot it. And I'm like, okay, but isn't that like going against what you should be doing?
Yeah, because they're
conservatory. You're supposed to study it
and conserve it.
Help it if you whatever. But I'm like, I'm not going to shoot it if I don't have. If I have to, yeah, I will, and I'll sleep like a baby. But I'm not gonna go actively go out there and try to hurt something if it's not bugging me, I'm going to let it go. It just is what it is.
Yeah, people think that they can shoot one of these creatures and bring it to science, but that's not what's going to happen. If anyone shoots at one of these creatures and tries to bring it forward, the government's going to come in, take this thing, like it has in the past. And believe me, people have shot these things before. We've heard that as well. But yeah, that's not feasible to do. I mean, at the least, if you were happen to be able to shoot and kill a Bigfoot, maybe try to take a couple samples and some pictures, and then don't say nothing to anybody, because as soon as you do, you're going to be hushed. So, but it's kind of weird. You guys were talking about those cameras, and I've heard about how these things can do the cloaking thing. Have you heard about that? I don't know if you guys are on that kind of side of things, but they have this ability to shimmer and change their frequency. Have you guys seen how they're coming out with these hunting blinds that are just like it looks like you're not there? It's like a mirror.
Yeah, I have seen those
it's active,
on the internet.
Yeah, like active camouflage.
Yeah, so that's what the concept is of the cloaking, that these creatures have the ability to do that and remain hidden. So that's maybe why people you can't find them. But I wonder if they can do that around, they've got to have some idea of cameras and lights, obviously, right? So I wonder if they're able to do that. You guys said something went off, but there was nothing there.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
Or
Maybe it was. Maybe they used was cloaked. I don't know. I'm just reaching,
Yeah, 'cause
but
it
I've never
went
heard
off,
that before.
it went off more than one time.
right.
And it's like, well, we're not picking anything up here, so we might as well just put it back on the deer.
No, I mean, a lot of creatures have, for lack of a better term, their own defense system, active camouflage, call it what you want. Lizards turn certain colors. So, I mean, if it's a species we've never captured before, documented or whatever, we don't really know
What it's capable
what it's
of.
capable of. I mean, it could be capable of this stuff, and we won't know until somebody figures it out. So, yeah, active camouflage, like they do with stealth fighters, different, but same along the same program with that. So it wouldn't surprise me, which would explain why I'm out there with my shotgun and I can hear it, but I can't see it. And I got glasses, but I can see pretty good when I need to. And I literally could not see anything. And I was out there for at least a good 5 minutes, just holding my ground, looking, just watching the wind. And it was there. I knew it was there. I could have thrown a stone at whatever it was, but I couldn't see it. So maybe that wouldn't surprise me if it was something like that, which would explain why nobody hasn't seen them before, or has, but it's been really limited.
Well, there's a lot of reports. I mean, I honestly feel if people are honest and tell their stories, that then the people that are afraid to come forward will come forward. And this way we learn more about them.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot for us to say anything to anyone. It really did. It took months. I mean, we didn't really say anything till January, and this started the previous, in the summer. Yeah. And we got a few friends that, they think we're Looney Tunes now. It's like, well, that's your choice, and I know some people think we're a joke, but then other people know, well, I've been there. I know what I've had that same experience, and this is what happened to me. So it's validating when you have people have similar experiences and they're genuine and they're real. I mean, there's something there. I mean, we smelled it, we heard it, and we saw it.
Nobody believed in Area 51 until that happened.
There's hair they're going to analyze, so it's not something that's not there. It's there, 100%. Mm-hmm. We had the footprints on 3 different occasions. I mean, we have evidence, we have proof. It's
things. I mean, look, there's stuff out there. Like I said, Area 51, UFOs, they're all out there. And yeah, the government's going to keep it quiet until they don't. So yeah, it's no more unbelievable than, unidentified flying objects, stuff like that. It's all the same. So,
yeah. And you talk about credibility. And before we started the show, Ray, I did not know that you were military or police, but I did kind of peg you for military when we started talking. And thank you for your service. But we'd love to have guys like you on the show because your credibility is way up there. I mean, being a detective and all that. I mean, it's not like you're just some Looney Tune out there just, preaching about Bigfoot. You've had some serious things going on in your lifetime, and you've had to be a serious dude. And so we like to have that on the show as well. So we appreciate that.
I've been up by, as far as I can tell you, I've been up by Area 51 before doing military ops, and I can't tell you any because you signed that agreement, and that's it. You can't say anything about it. It's like a lifetime thing. The security briefing you go through there to get in there is nothing like you've ever done before. And they make it crystal clear. You say anything about what you saw, there will be, pretty much hell to pay. So I've been up there and I've seen things. I can't talk about it. But you're right. The government, if they have to step in, they will. We just, we want to live in peace with the creature. So it is what it is.
Right.
So, Lisa, do you want to see another one then?
No.
She doesn't. No, she doesn't.
But
She
at
was
the
in
same-
tears.
Yeah, I was.
She was crying in tears. She was so scared. And my wife don't cry for nothing.
Yeah.
She'll punch me in the private.
Would you say it looked more in the face? Would you say it was more gorilla-ish or more human, more?
I only saw like the side of the face, but the head was kind of like a little bit pointed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then there was the forehead and the nose. Oh God, it was kind of like pushed in somewhat, if that makes sense. And I know it seemed like it was wide. That's about, it reminded me of a gorilla, but at the same time, a little different, kind of human.
Maybe Neanderthal.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, it was tall. It was not large. It was a little less than a dad bod. But but it looked healthy. But and I know it was dark in color. I couldn't tell you if it the exact color, because it was, the area and everything, the trees and everything was kind of shading it a bit. But I know it was dark. It's either dark brown or some kind of brown. Brownish. I don't think it was black. I'm pretty sure it was in the brownish colors. Just can't tell you exactly the shade. The hair was not super long. It kind of like your length, like that length,
hippie length.
Kind of like in the middle. It wasn't like I would call it super hairy. I mean, it was covered in hair for sure, but it wasn't like hanging long. I mean, it
wasn't shaggy.
Close to the, it wasn't shaggy. That's the best way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't really tell you about the feet because
couldn't see him.
It was walking too fast.
Yeah.
I know it was walking. I mean, I could see it, all the way, but I couldn't see the feet because of the brush and everything like that. But like I said, the gait was really, really wide. I mean, it was impressive. Because at least it would have taken me at least 3 steps to do that one step easily. There's no way I would have ever been able to keep up with it. I don't think you would have either, and you're a runner.
I don't want to run out there, I'll tell you that much.
We don't go out in that field. I mean, when he goes out in the field to do the deer corn, he carries a gun, and I watch the porch. I stay on the porch and I watch just to make sure. I mean, we just want to be safe. That's all. And usually, like I said, he usually takes the 0-point lawnmower out there because it's a haul just to take the big bag of deer corn out there. So it's easier to take it that way. Mm-hmm. It's just that one time he walked out there. Of course, he had to find the footprints. Good job.
Didn't want to. Not my fault.
Did you guys take any pictures of these footprints by chance?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have them.
Yep.
Are you caring to share with us these footprints?
Sure.
Yeah, I can. The email you sent me, I can email them to those if you want.
Please do. Yeah,
that would be great. Yeah.
We can post them on our group page on Facebook and everywhere else when we release this episode. If you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, no problem.
I can do that first thing tomorrow when I get back. They're on my home computer, so I gotta.
That's fine. That's fine.
I can shoot those over tomorrow, whatever I have.
Yeah. Cool. So Ray, I know you mentioned this earlier. You were kind of talking a little bit. You weren't sure, but do you want to see one? I think you want to see one, don't you?
Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. Just look, and don't take this the wrong way, okay? I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm not saying you didn't see anything, but it would kind of be like, oh, okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. Yeah. I probably won't sleep that night.
I didn't.
But I do. Just to, like I said, I used to be a detective. So, you got evidence. Once you see it, it's like, okay, well, you can't explain that away. There's I know what a bear looks like. And do I want to see it? Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
But once you see it, you cannot see it.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean, it's burned in my mind.
So your chances are pretty good.
Yeah.
I keep every time I go out there, I'm looking. I'm like, just pop your head up one time, just so I can see you. And then,
it's going to be one time when you don't expect it. And it's right in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird thing is I don't want to see it again because I've already seen it twice now. But at the same time, I keep looking
Yeah, we were out there.
Because I don't know why, but I still keep looking, even though I don't want to see it. I guess I do.
We're sitting out there on the
If
back
that
porch
makes any
today.
sense.
Probably do, yeah.
Yeah, we're sitting on the back porch today for probably. I was building a fence on my back porch, and after that, I was sitting out there, and we were sitting there for 30 minutes, and all we were doing is just looking out on
Well,
the field.
someone's
We're
driving
talking.
me crazy out there.
Yeah, she kept looking, and
Someone's
I
driving
didn't
me
see
crazy out
anything.
there.
We can't find our binoculars. I don't know where they are.
We lost them. They're somewhere in the house.
Yeah,
It's
so
because
we're
you
all-
guys know they're out there. You know they're out there, and that's
so we're
why.
looking all the time.
Well,
now.
something just kept catching my eye tonight, and I kept looking, and I couldn't find anything, but it kept driving me crazy. It's like, okay, it's just your imagination, because if I can't prove what I see, then I won't believe what I see, if that makes any sense. Like, I had to make sure when I saw that first sighting that I knew what I was seeing was real and it was happening. And then the verification of the hair and the trail, there's a trail where it was too.
Mhm.
And then where I guess it lays down, I think it watches our house.
It might, who knows?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Wouldn't surprise me. So that was validation for the first one. Now the second one, the investigator, he had us mark on a map, so he can track the second
sightings where
sighting.
we see them, yeah.
So I don't know when he comes back if he's going to go out in that area. It's still in the field, but it's just in a different section of the field.
Yeah, I don't think it's on our property.
I know that they go through our property, and I know they go onto the pasture across the street from us, because I'm told by a source that the farmer on that property is having strange occurrences happen. But I don't know.
Is that the old man?
I think so.
So here, Ray, here's what you need to do. Especially if you guys are seeing one like laying down and it's watching your house. Cut those lights off at night. Maybe one night, see what happens. The next night, sneak out there, cut them off, hang out on your roof, hang out somewhere, right? Do stealth mode. Go into that situation, right? Like back in the day, and wait and see if these things come up, and have a flashlight and just pop them with it.
See, I thought about doing that. I thought about going up on the roof one night and just sitting out there and seeing what I can see. It's not a bad option.
Hey, we're putting the tent on the porch.
Yeah, I could do that.
Keep
Just
it
kill the
shade,
lights.
just go on we have a porch, so we don't have a roof on it, so we're going to put a tent on the porch so we could sit in it, so the bugs don't bite us. Maybe he could go in the tent on the porch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think these things are really intelligent creatures. Like you guys were saying, they know where the light line is. They know where it is. And I guarantee you, if there weren't no lights there, they'd probably be coming up smacking on your house.
Can you turn off the motion lights?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I can.
I don't know.
If you're willing to do it, I wonder what you would do.
Run a light switch to the inside of the house, to the big spotlights, and keep them off.
Right.
Until you hear something out there, and then blast them on real quick and see if
they'd be like,
they're solar. The
I can turn them off.
Oh, okay.
I can just turn them off.
Because the ones in the yard, they're solar.
But I can turn them off.
Oh, okay. Well, that would work. And then the one on the porch, that's plugged in.
Yeah.
So that lights up the whole.
Now, if I do this and I see something, I lose my mind, I'm gonna call you on it. I'm gonna say, "Hey, see now I have issues."
Yeah, then we have episode number 2 with you guys.
Yeah,
how cool is that?
Yeah, and then I'll be
Ray, at least a part 2.
Yeah, I'll be happy.
We'll talk you through it, Ray. Don't worry.
You'll start drinking beer heavily.
Yeah.
We'll be your therapist.
Heavily after that. So,
We might actually come down there at that point. You never know.
You're welcome
Oh,
anytime.
sure.
Seriously, you are welcome anytime.
That's pretty
There's
cool.
a lot of land out here. I'm sure there are people out here that that would love to. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't, because they don't want the stigma that goes with it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Trust me, there's definitely a stigma.
Yeah, Arkansas it's a different kind of people than California, whatever. They're more kept to themselves. I get it. I'm not judging on that, but that's not. Yeah, I could probably do that here this weekend, next weekend, one of these. I don't know.
You don't have to. I was just making a suggestion.
No. I thought about it before.
But
too.
I wonder if that. I would kind of lay low. That maybe do it a day or two. You might get some slaps on your house. You might not. I don't know. But if you think like the lights are burnt out, trick them a little bit. These things are smart, but You've
I-
been
I
a
need to break
detective,
the-
so you can do this stuff, Ray. I believe.
Yeah, I
you.
know.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm gonna wait till it gets a little warmer
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it seems like we had the issues when it started. It was 80 today.
Yeah.
So once it starts getting a lot warmer and everything starts like, growing again.
Wait,
What?
hold on. You said it was 80, and then you said once it starts getting warmer and things start growing again.
On a steady, I think he means
Yeah,
on
on
a
a
steady
steady-
basis.
Yeah, it gets warmer than 80 here. Oh yeah, it does.
I mean, I I saw snowflakes yesterday, dude.
Oh,
For
really?
real. Oh yeah, up here in Indiana. Yes, they
Oh.
weren't sticking, but yeah, it's been like 37 up here.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it's been
freakishly warm
chilly.
today. It was
Yeah.
only supposed to be 73, and it popped up to 80 on the
Well,
thermometer.
what's your winters like? What's it like in January 15th? What kind of temps you guys get down there?
Cold. Yeah, we're in the
20s, 30s.
20s, 30s.
Oh, are you really? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
We
it-
get snow.
We get snow. We get
Yeah.
snow
Do
like
you?
Yeah.
once or twice a year. We'll get
Okay.
we got this year. I think
8
we got like
inches.
8 inches.
That's
Oh
one of
wow.
the difference.
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
That's more than we got up
Oh,
here,
that's
which is
almost more
weird.
than we got. Yeah.
yeah. We get that. Well, we're in north central, but we're in a higher elevation. Not really
Okay.
high, but higher than some of the lower areas. So we get the snow and like once or
Okay.
twice a year. 6-8 inches.
So the lake system, the river system south of you guys, is that lower than your
Yeah.
elevation? Okay,
Yes.
gotcha. Okay, so
Yeah,
stuff's
we're
running
here-
downstream. Okay,
yeah, we're near Fairfield Bay and Greers
Greers
Ferry
Ferry.
and Heber Springs.
Yeah. So Greers
That
Ferry is
area.
like huge, like
Water
waterway
area.
in our
okay,
area.
yep, gotcha.
It's like one of the bigger lakes, and everything like flows in and out of that. So all the creeks, like Ramford Creek over here, and the pond over here, and there's another creek here,
There's so many ponds. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
and all this stuff flow in and out of that. Our neighbors have a creek that runs along the backside of their property that they go hunting on.
Well, yeah, that makes a
there's
lot of sense.
There's a lot of waterways and a lot of food. You got deer all the time.
Oh yeah.
Deer,
I love the deer.
all that stuff. Rabbits, squirrels.
Coyotes.
So do the Bigfoots.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a mountain lion recently.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
They
Really?
were on it, but I don't know.
I don't
if
think they
or
caught
not.
it though. Yeah.
Yeah. We got foxes,
We've had bear before.
bear. So I mean, there's a lot of wildlife out here.
Yeah. Well, we're in the Ozark Mountains, so
Yeah, you just
Right.
gotta.
comes with the territory.
Yeah, you just
You
gotta.
know, having Bigfoot around your place could be an advantage. I mean, they could scare off the other predators
Yeah.
and
You
then
know,
keep
you,
it
when they're around.
you know they're there. I feel comfortable when I can hear the frogs at night.
Mhm.
I feel safe. But when it gets dead silent during the day, or especially at night when the frogs stop, I know they're there. I just know it. I know because they go dead silent and they do. I mean, you could hear a pin drop outside.
Yep.
And
Wow.
and that's when you just know they're out there. You just know it. And
Mhm.
it's hard for us to hear because when we go to bed, we put our fan on at night, so we can't hear outside. But before we go to bed, before he comes to bed, sometimes I won't have the fan on because I like to hear the frogs and the
Mhm.
crickets and stuff. But when it goes dead silent, that's when you just know. You just know they're out there.
Something big is out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a predator.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And we got a lot of frogs out here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got.
Well, Ray and Lisa, we want to thank you guys so much for being on the show tonight. You guys,
Yeah, this was great.
Oh, thank you.
great experiences and stories you have there. And we definitely probably want to bring you back on sometime down the road. And if you
Okay.
guys see or hear anything in the meantime, get a hold of us.
Yeah, keep in touch. Let us know what's going on.
Okay. well,
And if your neighbors want to talk about some stuff and come on and it helps get it off their chest, let them know.
well,
That's what
We'll
we're here
talk to
for.
them as well.
I know
So.
that one guy would like to.
yeah, we'll ask them. I'll send you those pictures tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good, man. We'll put
Everything
that out
from
there.
our email too, and just tell them to
Sure.
shoot us a line. We'll
Yeah.
talk to them.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, cool, man.
All right,
It's
you
very
guys.
You
Nice
both.
meeting y'all.
You too. Thanks
Yeah, you
again.
too. Thank you
Stay
so
safe
much.
down there, and good luck with what's going
Yeah.
on. And we hope to hear back from you soon.
I hope you guys do good on your podcast.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Lisa,
Appreciate it.
take care.
Thank
All right,
you
be
guys.
safe, sir.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.